Tuesday practice, room for improvement. I hope our players are hearing the message and it's sinking in. Wasn't a bad practice, wasn't a great practice. And we got to be ready to go in front of a sold-out home crowd on Family Day and play with a lot of energy, play up to our standard. There'll be a lot of excitement in the stadium and play well against a good team.
Coach, what is that message that you're trying to get through to your guys?
It's really no different than the message any other week, in terms of the way we prepare and the standards that we do everything, the way we focus in meetings, the way we practice, our attention to detail, things of that nature. Trust the process, which we do, and make the most out of every day. But you got to have an edge, because the difference in athletics between teams is like inches. And the team that shows up hungry, ready to go, and is on point with execution is the team that prevails. Because for the most part in college football, 98% of the teams can beat anybody or lose to anybody.
You talked in fall camp about trying to get that edge and that it wasn't quite there at that point, but you saw it coming, you saw it getting better throughout camp and early in the season. Do you feel like it's at a pretty good point right now?
Well, we've had 3 tests. We've passed every test. Some tests we had higher grades than other tests. And we're getting ready for the next one. And so I like the way our team has come together and playing. Every week is a new chapter. But, I'm confident that our guys will come out, flying around, and play well. Going to need to.
As you looked at the film from the App State game, what really stood out in what you guys did? Was it something different than maybe what you saw during the game?
Well, it really stood out were the number of mistakes we made on offense. At one point, we had 20 plays and 10 or 11 critical errors. A critical error is an error that will ruin a play or pre-snap penalty or something. The number of mistakes we made offensively for 2.5 quarters and even into the second half was incredible.
How about on the positive side? I know you're always looking at that.
On the positive side, I thought we really played well on defense. They made some plays in the passing game. We missed a few tackles, had a missed assignment or 2 in the first half. But the last 6 drives of the game, they gained 40 yards. Defense gave the offense field position inside around the 10-yard line twice in the game. And, I thought we took it to them.
I know you talked when you had a couple of guys leave on the defensive line during camp that you weren't quite as deep there, and that could be a concern. It hasn't been so far. I know yesterday you said that not much has surprised you at this point, but with those guys doing what they've done to other offensive lines so far, has that been a surprise at all, or did you kind of expect that?
I didn't know what to expect from our defensive line, our whole team. And I told them that in the locker room before the Middle Tennessee game, that we had a lot of unanswered questions. And I think we've done a really good job up front of keeping people off balance. We move around. We don't stay static. But you got to have guys doing their job, and linebackers and safeties fit in the right gaps too. Carpenter gave us an outstanding game. Jamari made some really good plays, can still play more consistently. We had a lot of guys play well, but everybody on defense flew around.
How different is it to coach any team, not specifically just JMU, after such a statement win where there might be a little bit more outside eyes peering in than in previous years?
Well, there's 2 ways you can approach that, and the way we're going to approach it is we're going to go about our business the way we go about our business and not create a self-fulfilling prophecy that we're not ready, looking for things, negative things, and we're not going to do that. But we're also going to make sure that our standards are high and that we're doing things the right way.
And then going back to the defense a little bit, Texas State head coach kind of compared the defense to Baylor a little bit in their explosiveness and things like that. Do you see that level of explosiveness kind of continuing to develop within this team?
Let me tell you something. In football, anybody can beat anybody. So the difference between a Power 5 team and a really good non-autonomy team, there's not much of a gap there. I mean, you know, we've had in the past FCS teams beat Power 5 teams. The gap isn't what you think it is. I think when we're playing hard and playing right, we can be real, real good.
What do you see out of Texas State when you've been looking at them on film so far?
Defense doesn't give up many points. I think their strength is their front. They've got some active guys. Got a corner that's got 3 interceptions. Offensively, the quarterback is a 6th-year player, knows how to play quarterback. Started last year at Arkansas State. He can throw it. They got nice receivers. They've got number 2 is a really good space player for them in the slot. And they've got some outside guys with length that can get vertical. They're 2-2. They played Baylor. It was 14-7 near the end of the second quarter. Then the game opened up a little bit. But, they're a team coming in here hungry for a win. I'm not even going to call them a dangerous team. I feel like, that wouldn't be doing them service. They're a good football team.
Doesn't necessarily apply to true freshmen out there making plays on Saturday, but you've got some spots where you're younger, but you played, 3 extra games last year with the playoff run compared to a lot of teams in this league. Does that help kind of age those guys up quickly?
Yeah, I think it helps our younger guys that played. The guys that haven't played, not quite as much. And then, like you said, quite a few new guys too. We got some freshmen playing. So, we've got guys in the program, have been here a while, played a lot of games, battle-tested, that have been through the wars. But with COVID, a lot of people do, because of that extra year.
You kind of touched on it yesterday, but what have you seen, Sam Clark coming in and adjusting to a new team for his last year of college football?
I see him doing kind of what he did at Sacramento State, kicking the ball with good hang time, getting good length on his punts, a veteran guy that has confidence, and he's punting well.
How big was key read on Saturday? Not only the game-winning hit, but that open field tackle on the 3rd and 15 on the tunnel screen. Talk about Q's performance a little bit.
Yeah, well, that last play was, a great form tackle, big hit to jar the ball loose, which ended the drive and ended the game, really. Made the play that you talked about on the screen really good. The play got beat on the touchdown. Wasn't so good if he'd have just done his job, right? And so, we have a lot of that goes on, Toddy was player of the week in the Sun Belt Conference and probably graded out. If he graded out over 70, I'd be surprised. And he'd be the first to tell you that. So, I know we all got the warm fuzzies because we beat App State, and it was a great team win. And we gave extraordinary effort, showed great resolve, made the plays when it counted, but we made a boatload of mistakes.
And what did App kind of do to limit Chris Thornton a little bit? And is that something you expected?
No, they had not shown that, but, we moved Chris around a little bit. So when we had him in some places that were a little bit unconventional, they went to man coverage and deep middle safety. And then when he was in the slot and they were playing quarters coverage with a safety over top of him and a Sam backer, a little inside, they were getting hands-on. So, in effect, disrupting the route and then had over the top coverage. But that opened up other people and opened up the run game, too.
You talk about some of those coverages opening up the run game. I mean, Kaylon having the game that he had, what have you seen out of his development? It's been talked about before, especially with how young he is and how much potential he is showing.
I thought he ran really well and hard, and just really went after it every single play. And if we had a little better downfield blocking from the receivers, you probably had a couple long touchdown runs.
And I also remember during like post game, you also mentioned that aside from the fumble that Latrell had, you also saw some good plays out of him as well. I was wondering, where did you see the two kind of working well together during that open run
Yeah,
game?
Latrell had some good runs. There's no question about it. And on the fumble, he actually ran into Kidwell, but he's got to tuck the ball away and and carry it properly. And really on Toddy's fumble, the left tackle overset his guy, and so that one was on Tyshawn.
Taryn Screen's a guy that really hasn't gotten going quite yet, but on Saturday he made 2 kind of big catches for you guys. What do you kind of like from that? Just not playing much, but when he's on the field, he can kind of make an impact like that.
Well, Rav started the game. TG's made a lot of plays in his career, has a lot of catches, and the one thing he does is he really finishes the go ball well. So when I saw us work that way on that route and saw the relationship between him and the DB, I was feeling really good that he was going to come down with that ball. And he made a nice catch on a turn route on the boundary too. So, I think that'll help his confidence a little bit. Not that it had been shaken, and I expect him to make his fair share of plays here, hopefully this week and every game thereafter.
And you've talked about Todd's leadership throughout this season, but what are you really seeing out of him this week, perhaps, as you face Texas State after coming off of a big win? Well,
I think everybody recognizes his performances in the opener, the second game, third game, and he has stepped up sort of as a leader. Everyone recognizes him as one of the leaders, and he's getting more comfortable all the time in the offense. And it's up to us to put together a good design that features his strengths, and that he can do the things that he does best. And but yet he's still improving in certain facets of our offense, and I expect him to continue weekly.
Any other questions? Yeah, I would add, where do you want to see him improve?
Well, the problems we had Saturday were in the drop-back game. Just the general execution of the drop-back game. Thanks.
Explore the great outdoors with the all-new Charlie Oball RV and Outdoor Superstore. You've got to see it to believe it. Come shop our mega showroom located off I-81 and I-64 in Stanton. Hundreds of new and pre-owned campers of all sizes in stock and ready for making memory. New campers like this Keystone Hideout starting as low as $175 per month. It's the only store you need to visit for the latest deals on fishing, hunting, electric golf carts, electric bikes, and all the best outdoor apparel. Visit CharlieOballRV.com or stop by and start camping. And God bless America.